Senator Tommy Tuberville has said that people who can be identified as white extremists, white nationalists, should still be allowed to serve in the armed forces of the United States. He was speaking to a radio station. Here is the argument that he made.
We are losing in the military so fast our readiness in terms of recruitment. And why? I can tell you why. Because the Democrats are attacking our military, saying we need to get out the white extremists, the white nationalists, people that don't believe in our agenda as his Joe Biden agenda. They're destroying it.
You mentioned the Biden administration trying to prevent white nationalists from being in the military. Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans.
Okay, so to be very clear, he was asked a direct question. Do you believe they should be allowed in the military? And he said, I call them Americans. And I mentioned that because a spokesperson for him says, in response to the, I think, utter horror at him saying that we should allow these people in the military, Senator Tuberville's quote that is cited shows that he was being skeptical of the notion that there are white nationalists in the military. Not that he believes they should be in the military. The senator resents the implication that the people in our military are anything but patriots and heroes. Now, the first part is BS. There is no way to read what he said as meaning what his spokesperson says that he said. That's simply not what he said. However, I do accept the second part of his statement. I do accept that Senator Tommy Tuberville believes that white nationalists and white extremists are patriots and heroes because he thinks that people who are so deluded by the intoxicating effects of their own privilege, the racism that they support, that they want to see in politics, he sees them as patriots. He sees that as being consistent with being a hero. I think he's insane to think that, but that is what he thinks. He is a senator and has power over the military. Adrienne, what do you think?
I think that this is utterly terrifying. It's not that we didn't think that he would support white nationalism at the end of the day, but just to be so blatant about it. And basically, I'd say he practically doubled down on it. It's the thought that, hey, we can go ahead and give these neo-Nazi adjacent white nationalists, give them weapons, put them in charge of the safety and also kind of the defense of the United States. And that's perfectly fine when we know that their mindset is not one of any kind of objectivity or diligence to our nation, because what they are doing is bowing at the totem pole of white supremacy, at the throne of this ideology that is dangerous and also that practices nothing but exclusion. I just don't understand this thought that they're going to be sane individuals as opposed to carry out an agenda that's harmful for the vast majority of people in this world.
Yeah, and look, I think it's totally appropriate to be worried about what they would do in those positions. There's already reason to believe that right wingers might be using their position in the intelligence services just to opportunistically leak stuff, not to make sure that citizens know what's going on, but to hurt a Democratic administration or whatever, which we can adjudicate on a case-by-case basis, but that does appear to be happening. But even perhaps more importantly, it has been very clear in their communications in these organizations that they are going into the military to gain training and expertise and then leave it and then do whatever it is that they're going to do. And imagine, like, Tuberville is so obviously lying. We need them. We were having trouble. And so I guess we have to do what we have to do. Like, if you're having trouble with getting prison guards, you don't hire tigers. Like, I don't care about your desperation at that point. You still need people who are qualified for the job and are not clearly there to get a lunch. But in any event, it is very easy, I think, for Tommy Tuberville to say that people who have been identified as white extremists, white nationalists, like, what does that even mean? I mean, come on. Do we believe that if he found out from secret communiques from BLM headquarters that they were enlisting 5,000 black extremists, black nationalists, that he would be like, well, it's not my ideology, but we need people in the military. What are you gonna do? I guess it's cool. Does anyone think that that would be his response if they were any other kind of extremist? Well, Antifa is showing a lot of interest in joining the Marines. I guess we gotta let them in. Does anyone think that that would be his response, Adrienne?
No, it would not be his response at all. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he would be completely opposed to any other group who had a nationalist sentiment being in a position where they are infiltrating the military. The thing that really gets me, though, is that we know that white nationalism and white supremacists have been pretty much, you could almost say, kind of, they've really been the foundation of US policing systems. So the thought that, well, let's also make sure that that is completely and totally solidified in the military, it's really disgusting. And also too, I remember how there was that hearing before Congress about white supremacy in the military and how the Republicans and GOP were like, no, this isn't an issue. How dare you? You say it's going woke. And clearly Tuberville's out here saying, yeah, it's great.
You know, by the way, like everything that you said is true. The idea that we're having trouble with recruitment, which appears to be true. And so like they just get to make up why that is. It's the wokeness. It's them damn pregnant women in the Air Force or what. How about this? How about you go talk to people about why they don't want to join the military? I think you might learn something. It's possible that people have grown up having experienced decades of American soldiers being thrown into pointless meat grinders of wars and then come back, receive no aid, their pay is terrible, the healthcare is not there. Maybe there are incredibly understandable reasons that some people don't want to join the military anymore. Maybe that's part of it. Or maybe it's just the wokeness, I don't know. It's the damn CRT and the Coast Guard. I don't know, maybe it's that, who's to say? I'm not a colonel, in addition to all the other things I'm not.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.